Hola chicos! Today we get to do one of my favorite things ever. I love to conjugate verbs, and I'm so excited. I live all school year to teach you guys this stuff. So, we're going to talk about the present tense of AR verbs. And before you can talk about actually conjugating the verb, we got to start a little bit more basic than that. We're going to start right here with an infinitive and what an infinitive is. Now, in English class, you should have learned this stuff. I'm pretty sure you did. Let's pretend you didn't, but just in case. So, an infinitive is the most basic form of a verb. Okay, the most basic form of a verb. Okay, no one's doing anything. It's not happening at any particular place and time. It's just the idea of the verb. It's the most basic form. All right. So in English, we define an infinitive as being to plus a verb. So it's to plus a verb, whatever happens to be. So, for example, to jump, or to ski, or to study, or to talk, or to conjugate a verb, which makes Senora Mazzotti really happy. No one's doing anything, it's the idea of it. To do whatever happens to be. So we can always recognize an infinitive in English by having the word to in front of the verb. In Spanish, it's a little different. In Spanish, we don't talk about what comes before the verb, like in English with to. In Spanish, we talk about what comes after the verb. And in Spanish, infinitives always end in the same way. They either end in the combination AR, ER, or IR. So it's going to be really consistent. You're always going to see that. AR, ER, or IR. Now, we're only going to talk about AR verbs right now. We're going to focus on an AR. So to conjugate an AR verb, what's going to happen is you were going to drop the infinitive ending. You see my infinitive over here? We're going to use the verb hablar, to talk. Well, here in red, this is the infinitive ending. We are going to get rid of it. We're going to drop it. What's left over here in green, this is the stem. So everything but the AR is called the stem. What you're going to do then is drop the AR and add a new ending. Now, we talked about this with Sarah a little bit. We said Sarah was kind of like a potato. And that's where we started, with the potato. And what you do is you can make something out of it. So you can change a potato into french fries. You can change a potato into tater tots. We made something new. Well, AR verbs are a little different. They follow a set pattern. They're going to always do the same thing. So this AR ending is going to go away. We are going to be left with HABL. And in order to conjugate that, we're going to add a new ending. And the yo pronoun always gets the O ending. So yo gets O. Hablo. We're going to make that red and make it stand out. So hablo. Tú, on the other hand, gets the ending as. Él, ella, and usted are going to all share the same ending. Oops, I don't want to change that color just quite yet. Okay, we're going to keep that stem, H-A-B-L, and you are going to add the ending a. That red, make it bold, bam. Okay, so yo hablo, tú hablas, él, ella, usted habla. Over here on the plural side of things, nosotros, we're going to stick with that stem. We are going to add a new ending. The nosotros ending is amos. Vosotros, vosotras are all going to get the same ending. They are going to get the fun one, ice. And ice has an accent mark over that A. It is really important. We're going to add that accent mark over the A. Ice. You know what happens to water when it gets really cold? It turns to ice. Get it? I know, I'm hilarious. So last but not least, you're going to stick with that stem. It's what you have when you take away the AR. And you're going to add a new ending, and it is going to be an. So yo hablo, tú hablas, él, usted habla, nosotros hablamos, vosotros habláis, ellos, ustedes hablan. So this is all well and good, and this is great. But the best thing we can do is worry about some examples. Here we go. Now, before we do the examples, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up my pen. On the back of your paper, you're going to see the examples. Before we do that, let's kind of go over those endings one more time. Remember, yo is going to get the O ending. Tú, has. Él, ella, usted, ha. nosotros amos, vosotros, ais, with an accent mark over that A, ellos, ellas, ustedes, han. Those would be your AR verb endings. It doesn't matter what verb it is. An AR verb is an AR verb is an AR verb. We're going to go over here to our example verbs. Now, these are the verbs you're responsible for in this particular chapter, but this will work with any other regular old AR verb. Estudiar, making sure we know what they mean. Remember it? To study. Remember, we said it's to plus a verb. You can't just put study. That's not enough. It has to be to study. Hablar, to talk or, speak. All right? Llevar, remember it? To wear. It can also mean to carry. So you can llevar una camisa, wear a shirt, but you can also llevar una mochila, wear a backpack. Necesitar, to need something. So yo necesito mi tarea para clase. I need my homework for class. And last but not least is going to be terminar, to finish or end. All right, so let's see how this works. Let's go down here. I study. Okay, so I study. I is yo. Study. The verb is estudiar. But you're going to get rid of the AR. Bam, bam. And you're going to add the new ending. Yo gets O. Yo estudio. Okay? We speak. We is nosotros. The verb is hablar. But you're going to chop off that AR. Boom, boom. The nosotros ending, if you go up to your chart, nosotros gets amos. Now notice I'm not saying A-M-O-S. I'm saying the sounds. Trust me, it makes it a lot easier to remember later. So just use the sounds. They wear. They would be ellos. Wear. The verb is llevar. Chop off the AR. Boom, boom. You can go with an. Llevan. Ellos, ellas, and ustedes all use the an ending. Let's try another one. She needs. Well, she is ella. Ooh, I want that to be in black. Or I'm sorry, in red. Ella. What does she do? She needs. Necesitar is the infinitive. We're going to chop off the AR. Use the a ending. Ella necesita. Okay. We're going to go down here. The classes end. The classes. Las clases. This is a little more challenging because las clases isn't in the chart. So you have to ask yourself, where do inanimate objects fall? It's things. And remember, objects are always going to be right down here. Right down here in the third person. It's plural. Right over here. So las clases terminan. Last but not least, you, informal study. Tú. We're going to add that accent mark over the tú. Boop. The verb is estudiar, but for tú, the ending is as. Tú estudias. So that's how they look like kind of individually. Let's put it into a sentence and make it make sense. All right. So let's keep our chart kind of sort of visual a little bit, and then we'll move away from it in a second. So I need a red pen and some yellow markers. Go chunk by chunk. I need. Yo, the verb to need. Necesitar, but it's not. Yo gets O. Yo necesito a red pen. Un bolígrafo. Add the accent mark over the I in bolígrafo. The color is red, rojo. Double check your adjective agreement. Does rojo correctly describe un bolígrafo? Sure does. Y, some yellow markers, some markers. Unos marcadores. And those marcadores are going to be amarillosa, because marcadores is plural. Yo necesito un bolígrafo rojo y unos marcadores amarillos. All right, a little shorter one. Like that. Susana studies English, so keep her name, Susana. Okay. I'm going to put her in red so we can see it a little bit better. Susana studies. The verb is estudiar, but it's not going to be estudiar. You got to chop off the AR. Susana is an ella. Ella gets a. What does she study? Inglés. Accent mark over the E in English. Now, if you really want to, guys, pause the video, try these on your own, then restart it and check your answers, see if you're right. Or if you feel like you need a little help, stick with me here. That's cool too. Pedro and I wear some blue pants. Pedro y yo. Whoa, it's bold. I don't need that. Pedro y yo. Wear. Llevar. But it's Pedro y yo. That's the same as nosotros. Ya vamos. Some blue pants. Some in pants go first. Unos pantalones. The colors go after. Descriptive verbs, adjectives usually go after. Azul. Unos pantalones is plural, so we have to make it azules. There's a lot to think about in one sentence. All right? It's a lot to think about it right now, but that's okay. We got this. Computer class finishes at 3:30. So remember, you can't say computadora clase or computación clase. We have to do la. Why is that bold? My goodness. La clase de computación. Accent mark for that O. Computación. Whoops, not like that. Let's try that again. Boom. Okay, finishes. The verb is terminar. At. Alas. So instead of son las, it is. We're going to do alas for at. 3:30. Done. Last but not least, you speak Spanish. We are going to assume that you is informal and singular unless I clarify otherwise. So we're going to use tú in here. We're going to capitalize our T for tú. Make that a little bit bigger. Boom. And we're going to make this red. Boop. Okay. So tú. Accent mark over the U. Tú. Boom. Speak is hablar. So in this case, it's going to be hablas. And what do you speak? Español. Tilde over the N. Boom. Boop, boop. There we go. Tú hablas español. All right, so guys, there we go. Now, if you're really so inclined, in class, we showed you that conjugation back video, which is pretty awesome. Justin Timberlake has nothing on those guys. If you scan this QR code right here, it'll jump you right to YouTube, and you can listen to that song until your heart is content. So there we go. That's the process for AR verb conjugations, Unit 2B. We're going to work with this throughout the year. This is something that will never, ever, ever go away. You have this base, and we're going to take it from here. Adios, and I will see you in clase.